welcome back to the channel. It's been a couple of weeks since I last did a video, mainly because I'm waiting on parts for the RX7. So I've ordered, well, I bought a new bumper, or a second-hand bumper, so I've got to wait until the guy's bumper from Japan turns up so that he can take my bumper off and then ship it to me. And I tell you what, parts overnight from Japan are not a thing apparently, so I've been waiting a few weeks now. So I've ordered a spoiler as well, so if you're not subbed and you want to see any of that in the future, just hit that sub button. But tonight we're going to do some anti-lag setup on the adaptronic and also mapping some flames to the RX7 because it is a rotary and it needs flames. If this title for this video says I crashed my RX7, that is because it is absolutely soaked still. So I have been waiting about 3 weeks to do this video, but it keeps raining and I just need to get it done. I've also got some work to do on the Datsun, so got some maintenance work to do on that. It's only little maintenance bits, so let me know in the comments if you want to see any of that, because it doesn't really excite me, but you know, some of you guys might want to watch it. So let's get into some anti-lag. Okay, so anti-lag, launch control or two-step, all similar kind of things, and people often mistake them for one another or describe them differently to what they are. So don't get caught up on what it's called. Focus more on why you want to use it and what you're going to use it for. So essentially I'm going to use this to put big old flames out the back and make a deafening sound for when, you know, Fiesta STs pop up next to you with their pop and bang maps, so you can teach them a lesson. But you know, if I want to build boost, then I won't be focusing on what's coming out the back. I'd be focusing more on the timing to get the most spool out the turbo. So what we're going to do, I'm running an adaptronic, so it's similar, it works a similar principle on any ECU, just software will be different. So we go into functions, and then launch control anti-lag, and then you have to tick on this launch control box, and that will give you these options. So fuel cut or ignition cut, so we want that fuel to go in the exhaust, so we're going to use ignition cut. Speed selection driven, that is because we're using the vehicle speed sensor, and that max speed is 5 miles an hour, so it will only be active below 5 miles an hour. As soon as you get above that, the rev limit that you put on the anti-lag will be back to your normal rev limit. So we're going to RPM versus speed table, so just put both of them at 5,000 because we just want a single stage. This is where a lot of people get the two-step from, because there's two different stages of your RPM. And then we're going to tick enable drag style anti-lag, which this is where it enables us to set the ignition retard and the fuel enrichment, which is what's going to give us the big old flames out the back. And the RPM window, that is 500 RPM before and after 5,000, which it just sort of, instead of being all that fuel at 5,000, it'll start to fade it in between 4.5 and 5,500. So at the minute I've got 40 degrees ignition retard and 15% fuel enrichment. So we'll get the car warmed up and we'll see what it sounds like. Right, so car's warmed up, got 85 degrees on the electric water pump controller. So we will put the camera outside and we'll see what it's got. Right, so it's looking a bit smoky still, so it's probably getting too much fuel. So what I'll do now is I'll try taking a bit out, probably go for 10%, and we'll see what that's like. Right, so I think 10% fuel and 40 degrees is the sweet spot, but my eyes are burning, so let's get the door open. Ugh. So yeah, one here at, what's that now? You can see that? So 40 degrees, 10%, and what's the treat? So we're just waiting for Tom now. He's gonna bob down, maybe in his NSX, I don't know. We'll do some filming and we'll put some fuel into the map and try and get some flames on the other one. Okay, so next up is flames at the back when you let off. So naturally rotaries run rich, which is why you will see a lot of rotaries with flames coming out the exhaust on the overrun. This is done on the fuel map usually, and so if we look on that, so on the map here, so this will be your idle, sort of around this area, and then as the car drives along normally, building boost, it'll come along here, and then as you let off, it'll go up here and it'll start reading these numbers. Now the higher these numbers are, the more fuel is going in on overrun, and that's what's going to light in the exhaust and then come out the back. So if you're running any sort of closed loop fueling, so like I am here, so that's going on closed loop, you want to make sure the settings, so at the minute this is only adjusting it in positive boost, because if you've got it in closed loop and you're trying to add fuel on the fuel map, the car or the ECU will just be taking it away itself. So you want to make sure either closed loop's off and you open loop only, or that your settings are correct so that the extra fuel you're putting in the map is going to actually get put into the engine. So here he is, noisy bastard. You know it's him with his fucking ridiculous loud exhaust. Fucking So we've added some fuel, 10% in this bit of the map, so where the engine's going to be an overrun. So we'll go out. Tom's in the NSX, film. Yeah. You're not filming, are you? Lower can film. So we'll head out, put the camera on that, and we'll see what flames we get. So back in the garage, pretty happy with how that went. Got some nice flames and still got a bumper, so it's always good. That's how the fuel map looks. So got some more fuel here, which is on the overrun areas. This is where the car normally runs, so it would only go into this when you sort of let off the throttle. What I'll do is go in the overrun. So basically I can set this so that I don't get any of that fuel on the overrun normally, and then I can just switch this off when I want some flames out the back. So that's going to be it for this one. If you made it this far, please give a thumbs up and drop a comment below. It helps the channel out massively, and I'll see you on the next one.